So Laila is a 19-year-old girl. She's been raised both in India and the United States, and she returns to India when she's 19 to get into an arranged marriage. It's against her will. And because of that, what she does is before she returns to India, she gives away her virginity to an American man. Unfortunately, she gets pregnant. The novel opens 5 days before her wedding. She hasn't told anyone in her family that she's pregnant or that she's lost her virginity. She's actually from a Muslim Indian family, and according to the Muslim tradition, if you lose your virginity, you can basically, you hear about honor killings and things like that. So she's trying to hide it. Unfortunately, she's having some issues with nightmares and being afraid, and her mother, rather than taking her to a conventional doctor, takes her to an alim, which is a healer, to figure out what's going on with Laila. So I'm just going to read a couple pages where she's sitting in front of the alim. She's with her mom, which is Ammi, and also her uncle, Abu Uncle. The alim is blind. The alim did have blind eyes, and I could see them. He wore no glasses. A thick white film covered the entire eyeballs, and each stared off in a different direction. Behind him, the 3 walls of the living room were covered almost entirely with rectangular mirrors, some older than others, but identical in dimension, each one the size of the poster board. Abu Uncle sat next to the alim on the takhat, while Ammi and I sat on the tiled floor, facing the 2 men. The courtyard was behind me, and I heard the rain falling through branches and leaves splattering on the ground. When I sneaked a peek at the old man, I saw inside his nose and noticed long hair reaching out to curve around each nostril. Inch-long hair also poked out from behind the low-cut kurta and from below the wide pajama bottoms. I lowered my gaze, somehow feeling I had been improper to notice these things. Segregation between women and men had that effect on me. Since I was a child, my mother had tried to teach me correct behavior, and I followed her wishes when she was watching. Covering my hair, hiding my legs, draping a scarf over kurtas to conceal the curve of my breasts, muffling my laughter, whispering, averting my eyes. I always knew I had to do these things because man, as Islam said, was the weaker sex. So it was my responsibility to keep him from becoming aroused. All these precautions were taken to prevent intercourse, or as my mother would say, so I would not fall prey to a man's desires. Naturally then, when I encountered any man, young or old, in the theater, on the bus, passing by our car, rather than feeling chaste, I felt more desire wrapped in the veil, more aware that I was a woman, and he, simply by the fate of being a man, wanted me. So I sometimes met their curious gaze, sometimes let them brush against me as they walked by, and sometimes even followed them with my eyes, admiring their rounded shoulders, their rigid chins, their hairy chests and forearms, their hands. From what better place to notice a man's body than from behind a veil? Thank you.